Good afternoon, everyone. It's after 12, so I can safely say good afternoon. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. It is the dawn of a new start. It's a new beginning. It's something that I visualized, the PAP Summit, and it has been brought to fruition thanks to my two co-founders, Rupam and Sanjukta. So just wanted to say that. We will start now with the next session. We are running exactly 30 minutes behind time, and we were to start at 11. We started at 11:30 instead. We will try not to lose out on that. The next session is called The Trolling Saga, Patriarchy and Misogyny Online. We are now going to play an audio-visual to give you an overview of the discussion ahead. Can we please play the video? The internet So we used AI to make those videos just to give an overview of what the discussion is going to be about. I would now like to call on stage all our panelists. We are calling all the panelists in alphabetical order. I would like to call on stage Ishrat Jahan, who is an Indian lawyer, and a politician associated with the Indian National Congress. She served as a municipal councillor for the Jagatpuri ward in Delhi from 2012 to 2017 and is a member of the All India Congress Committee. Next, I would like to call on stage Dr. Ruchika Sharma, who is a historian with a PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University. She specializes in medieval Indian history. She has over 5 years of teaching experience at the University of Delhi and actively engages in public history through articles in major publications and through her YouTube channel. She also contributes to the Credible History and Mojo Story platforms and has authored book chapters on Savitribai Phule and Noor Jahan. Currently, she is a media fellow at the University of Essex. Next, I'd like to call on stage Dr. Sanjukta Basu. She is also the co-founder to the summit today. She's a feminist journalist, researcher, and communications expert with over 20 years in non-profit and media experience. She's a law graduate from Delhi University with a PhD in women's studies. Her work focuses on women's political space, digital media, and gender trolling. She has published nearly 200 articles in major media platforms and has won the TED Fellowship for Digital Activism. She's been recognized by Femina and ICUNR for her work. Next, I would like to call on stage Dr. Udit Raj. Dr. Udit Raj is an Indian politician. He's a social activist and a former civil servant. He served the Indian Revenue Services before resigning in 2003 to establish the Indian Justice Party. He later joined the BJP, serving as a member of parliament from Northwest Delhi, and switched to the Congress in 2019. As the national chairman of the All India Confederation of SC/ST organizations, he has been a strong voice for social justice and reservation policies. I also have had the good fortune to work with him on the Northwest Delhi constituency. Last but not the least, I'd like to call on stage our moderator, Shubhrastha, who's a communication expert. She is the first woman to lead her own political consultancy firm. She is also a published author, a very famous media personality, and she regularly represents her views on various media platforms. She's acclaimed as a strong conservative voice on TV debates. Over to you, Shubhrastha.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was a very scintillating first session. Women leaders in their own right trying to explain problems with the system as well as showing hope and how to navigate this very fraught space when it comes to gender, inclusion, diversity. I think this session is a carry forward in terms of the superstructure that the panelists have already laid. So let me not try and set the context further, because we are all online personalities in our own right. And all of you have also engaged with conversations offline and are doing amazing work in your own fields. When we talk about trolling, we talk about dissent, and we also talk about targeted attacks. Now, where do we draw that line? When the video was shown prior to this conversation, we saw an AI-generated image of a blackened individual, a mascot of sort, who was trying to dictate terms. Who do you think is that mascot today online? Who do you think is really dictating the terms? Where do we draw that line between dissent and trolling A? And where do we then see this interaction between digital architecture and the superstructure of ethics that somewhere down the line we all believe in? Dr. Udit Raj, I would like to begin with you. You've served in bureaucracy, you've served in politics, you continue to engage, so please, sir.
Thank you. I'm interacting for the first time with you, Shubhrastha ji, and Leher, my friend, and also worked with me in my parliament constituency. See, I heard a part of deliberation of the first session that was about the patriarchy. Of course, the second session is related to trolling, right? So what happened? How did it start? So we see first at our country level, then global level. And we started witnessing it, say, up to for 10 years down the line, or 9 years here in our country. And we call it WhatsApp University also. And of course, a lot of fake pages were created on Facebook, and more particularly for election purposes. And of course, corporate houses also do it, but not that much as political outfits or political parties have started doing it for their own end, for their own benefit. Now, very recently, the Grok has come, and we are now witnessing such things at global level also. With the technology, it has evolved. But see how it happens. See, without human or you can say that the society in which we live, such thing can't happen. We were just discussing about patriarchy, and our patriarchy is more embedded than other patriarchy, of course, comparing to Far Eastern countries, Central Asian countries, barring Arabic countries and Western countries, it's more embedded in caste system. But of course, it's not being looked at it from the point of view that our patriarchy has its own genesis, its own root. Its root is a different root. There are some common roots, but of course, muscle, power, and then resource, natural resource or money resources, those are, of course, our strength for male patriarchy. But it's a more, in our country, it's a more the caste system. And other day you might have read that the Chief Secretary of Kerala, for whole life she was
Dr. Udit, I would interject you a little to just limit the conversation. मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि विरोध और ट्रोलिंग इसके बीच की जो रेखा है वो हम कैसे डिफाइन करें?
No, I am telling you, I am coming to this. Unless until we discuss the background in which, see, after all ethics, the mindset of the people, things emanate from there only. And that the trolling has been going on there at massive level in our country. And she knows it that I'm I think one of the person who is trolled most for my color, my comment, or my background. That's why there can't be better example or more stark truth than what I myself has bitterness.
Sure.
So that's why I'm telling you that there's the personal gain, petty gains, caste superiority, and of course, some may not agree, but of course, we live in falsity.
Sure. Dr. Ruchika, I would like you to comment on this also. And basically, I wanted to understand where do we really draw that line? You know, I'm sure intra-community trolling is a part of this entire discussion also. Where do we really draw that line?
I think I'd like to start with a couple of statistics which are very important. There are around 79% of men in this country who own a mobile phone, and this is per an ORF report which was featured in 2022. So 79% men own a mobile phone as compared to 43% women. And out of that 43% women, there are only about 20% women who have access to internet. And then only of those 11% women are actually online and on social media platforms. So just to give you an idea, when you talk about gender trolling, there is already a very minuscule amount of women online. And gender trolling ensures that even they will make a quick exit. And I see that every day happening. And it's not even about having a thick skin. It's the kind of trolling that women get is immense. So I think when we're trying to divide a line between dissent and trolling, I think gender trolling becomes a very important aspect of this, because I think no way is that in any way dissent. Secondly, I think off lately, trolling is very interesting with the past 10 years, because a lot of it is driven by, quote unquote, IT cells of different parties. So there is that figures as well, because it's politically driven. These are people who are funded by political parties, and this is their job. To pick out men, to pick out women, and, give a lot of voracious trolling, especially if they're speaking against your party. So I think when we take the difference between dissent and trolling, these two factors need to be taken into account. This is not just natural criticism which is happening. This is manufactured trolling, which happens with a very systematic view in mind that we are going to decimate anybody who speaks against our party or speaks against our agenda. So that is very important, and then it no longer stays dissent, right? And of course, when the gendered aspect comes, again, it does not stay dissent. There is a clear gendered idea that she's a woman and she must be targeted simply because she's a woman.
Thanks. Ishrat, coming to you. See, you are a politician and a controversial one at that. And I think it's good. Women politicians should be controversial because we need eyeballs, come what may. I will not ask you to comment on the ongoing, cases, but as a Muslim woman politician, do you see intra-community trolling affecting your political participation? Because online trolling really takes a toll on mental health. It also takes a toll on the kind of civic engagement and productive engagement that we would want with our community and community at large. Do you see that as a barrier?
Thank you, Shubrasta. Thank you, everyone, कि आप लोगों ने मुझे पैप समिट के लिए इनवाइट किया और मेरे लिए एक बहुत अच्छा मंच है कि जहाँ पर हम लोग इस टॉपिक पे खुल के बात कर सकते हैं. सबसे पहले मैं बात करना चाहूँगी कि लहर ने जैसा मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन दिया, दैट आई एम एन एडवोकेट एंड ऑल्सो इनटू पॉलिटिक्स. लेकिन मैं एक वाक़या रिकॉल करना चाहूँगी जिसमें एक महफिल थी और उसमें मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन इसी तरीके से दिया गया, बट नेचुरल. लेकिन एक जनाब का जवाब आता है जब मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन दिया गया कि ये वकील हैं और ऊपर से राजनीति में हैं. तो जवाब ये था कि एक तो करेला और ऊपर से नीम चढ़ा. तो ये डेली डिस्कोर्स हैं जो हम लोगों को फेस करने पड़ते हैं और हम लोग इसके आदी भी हो चुके हैं. और मैं ये कहूँगी कि हम इतनी शुभ्रस्ता आपके लिए भी कि हम लोग इतने हिम्मत और हौसले वाले हैं और ये तरबियत और हमारी तालीम का नतीजा है कि हम इस चीज़ को फेस कर पाते हैं और इसका जवाब दे पाते हैं. तो ट्रोलिंग ना इस केस से पहले कम थी और ना इस केस के बाद कम है. अगर मैं बात करना चाहूँ एक ऐसी लड़की, आपने कहा कि मुस्लिम पॉलिटिशियन या मुस्लिम विमेन है, उसके लिए बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस होते हैं कि आप एक फैमिली में से, सबसे पहले तो मैं कहूँगी कि मैं प्रिविलेज्ड हूँ कि मुझे ऐसे पेरेंट्स मिले जिन्होंने, अगर मैंने वकालत का पेशा चुना तो उन्होंने उसके लिए राज़ी हुए. साथ ही साथ अगर मैं पॉलिटिक्स में आना चाहिए, जबकि तब तक मेरे वालिद इस दुनिया से जा चुके थे, उसके बावजूद मेरी फैमिली ने मेरा साथ दिया क्योंकि मेरी मदर ये चाहती थी कि जो वो नहीं कर पाई, वो नहीं देख पाई, वो पढ़ी लिखी नहीं थी, तो उनको ये था कि उनकी 4 बेटियां वो पढ़ लें अच्छे से. तो इस तरीके से हम प्रिविलेज्ड हैं, लेकिन चैलेंजेस बहुत होते हैं. पहले एजुकेशन का चैलेंज, उसके बाद अपने आप को कहीं ना कहीं प्रूव करने का जब आप करियर में आते हैं, और ऐसे करियर में जहाँ कह देते हैं कि वकालत लड़कियों के लिए बना ही नहीं है. लेकिन बड़ा अफसोस होता है कि एक लड़की जो मुस्लिम है, मैं कोई विक्टिम कार्ड नहीं खेल रही हूँ क्योंकि आपका क्वेश्चन ही बहुत इसी चीज़ पर बेस्ड है और ये समिट भी मैं कहूँगी कि खुलकर बात करने के लिए रखी गई है. बहुत चैलेंजेस के बाद अगर एक लड़की वकालत का पेशा परस्यू कर राजनीति में आती है और एक ऐसी जगह से जीती है जो आरएसएस का आज तक भी बेस्टियन कहा जाता है, कृष्णनगर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी, वहाँ से अगर जीत रही है, तो ये उन लोगों की, मैं कहूँगी कि उन लोगों की कहीं ना कहीं ऑब्जर्वेशंस थी कि एक सेक्युलर लड़की, उन्होंने मेरा कैंडिडेचर देखा, मेरा धर्म नहीं देखा. तो ये चीज़ें हमें हिम्मत देती थी आगे बढ़ने के लिए. लेकिन अगर बात आती है, चूँकि मैंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ा, वकालत में कानूनों को पढ़ा, तो मेरे लिए सिस्टम को समझना और सिस्टम के साथ चलना बहुत आसान हो गया था समाज की बेहतराई के लिए. लेकिन जब ये लड़की आवाज़ उठाती है तो उस पर एक के बाद एक झूठे केसेस लगा दिए जाते हैं. इस तरीके से केसेस लगाए गए कि कोविड आ चुका था, मॉर्निंग में मेरे घर वालों से बात हो रही है कि आपकी शाम में रिहाई हो जाएगी, तो दोपहर में मुझे दूसरे केस में उठा कर ले गए. मल्टीपल केसेस मेरे ऊपर लगाए गए. इतने केसेस थे कि मुझे खुद नहीं पता था, मुझे वो डायरी में कहीं ना कहीं नोट डाउन करने पड़े. तो अफसोस होता है कि अगर कोई महिला आगे आती है, चाहे वो मुस्लिम हो, चाहे वो सनातनी हो, लेकिन अगर सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि अगर एक महिला आगे आ रही है तो उसको आप यूएपी जैसा कानून, जो एक ड्रैकोनियन लॉ है जिसको हमेशा अबॉलिश करने की बात की जाती है, वो लगाकर आप उसको 25 महीने, 2 साल से ज़्यादा, एक बहुत लंबा वक्फा होता है, उसमें आप उसको जेल में डाल देते हैं.
इशरत जी, मैं आपको अभी यहाँ पे इसलिए रोकूंगी क्योंकि फिर हम इसके फाइनल प्रिंट में जाएंगे तो बहुत सारे इश्यूज खुल जाएंगे. संजुक्ता, I'll come to you. So today we are dealing with digital algorithms, digital architecture, And we are also internally, as individual, not just women, as individual strong voices in our own fields, we are dealing with something called ethics, which has not been, algorithized. So how do you strike that balance? Also, the current structures, unfortunately, this is my opinion, please correct me if I'm wrong, if you disagree, current structures have not taught us to deal with online trolling, abuse. There's an explanation to why it's happening, but there's no guidance on how to navigate that. As somebody who has been a researcher, as a feminist voice, where do you see hope amidst all of this?
Thank you, Shuprasta. You asked about ethics, and this is your first question that was also addressed to Dr. Udit Raj. I would also respond to that because it is related to that. You asked, who is this black shadowed person who is dominating or controlling our experiences online or taking away a woman's political voice and space online? That figure is a majoritarian masculine mob. And I'm not talking about right wing, left wing. I'm just saying there are digital publics. So when we go to internet, we all there are, digital micro publics or counter publics. And each of the political communities that we have in India, right wing, left wing, the caste politics, the language politics, they all have their own counter publics. They all exist on the internet, and whoever dissents, they would go and troll them. And this is a masculine mob, like Ruchika said, that this is all mostly the users are male. So they are dominating. Now, why? Because precisely we have lost the sense of ethics and right and wrong in this postmodern, post-truth world that we now live in. So, there was this objective truth that this is right, this is wrong. That objective truth sort of came from the European, Enlightenment. Although we say that our Enlightenment goes back 5,000 years, but the world that we now exist in sort of stems from the European Enlightenment, all these modernity ideas. Then we came to postmodern. And we said, no, we have to have identity-based conversations and post-colonial, postmodern. But then we have now taken it even more further. We have now lost the sense of what is right and what is wrong. What is truth? There is no truth anymore. There is no such thing as right and wrong. Whatever I don't like is wrong, and whatever I like is the right thing, and therefore मुझे जो पसंद नहीं है मैं जाके उसको troll करूँगी. So we have lost ethics. Now you asked where is the hope? I think the hope is that we have to go back or take a few steps back and reorient ourselves to precisely that there is something as objective reality in this world. There are something as facts. There are something that as morality. And here, I'm sure Ruchika can identify with this, because when we talk about history, everything is not everything in the world. There is something called historical fact. You cannot deny that. Just because you don't like it, you cannot deny it. And every time somebody would talk about it, as she has been trolled, and we're trolled, I have been trolled from all sides. Like I just counter public, right wing counter public, left wing, caste
Sanjukta,
politics.
I don't even want to go into how we've all been trolled individually, because that's the subject for Leher's book, and we've all
None of us have any
contributed
ethics.
to it. Ishrat, I'll just take that cue to ask Ishrat that question. आपको अगर एक 14 वर्ष की, 15 वर्ष की किसी लड़की को समझाना हो कि ये दुनिया है, फोन आपके पास है, ये मॉब है, ये सुपर स्ट्रक्चर्स है, आप कैसे उनको कहेंगे कि नेविगेट करें? यही सवाल डॉक्टर उदित आपसे भी है इनके बाद. एक दलित बच्चा जो कि किसी गांव खेड़ी में खेल रहा हो, उसके पास इंटरनेट आज है, उसके पास वो तरबियत भी है, उसके पास वो तालीम भी है, लेकिन उसको अभी भी नहीं पता कि ये जो कास्ट, रिलीजन, क्लास, ये सबका सुपर स्ट्रक्चर जो ऑनलाइन ट्रोलिंग में जो नेविगेट होके चला गया है, उसे कैसे डील करना है उसको.
शुभ्रस्ता, मैं इसका जवाब देना चाहूँगी कि सबसे पहले तो जो आज का समाज हो चुका है, जो सोसाइटी में देखने को मिल रहा है एट लार्ज, कि जिस तरीके से पैरोडी अकाउंट्स बनाकर और बंद कमरे से लोग हमें डराते हैं, तो ये खुद खौफजदा लोग हैं. ये हमें इसलिए खौफ देते हैं कि हम घर से बाहर ना निकलें.
लेकिन मेरी ये समझ में नहीं आता कि लड़कियों को हमेशा सामाजिक दायरे में या तहजीब में या कपड़ों में बांध कर ही क्यों देखा जाता है। तो मैं सबसे पहले उन बच्चियों को ये कहना चाहूँगी कि डरो मत, बाहर निकलो, और जो आप तालीम हासिल कर रहे हैं वो सबसे बड़ा आपका वेपन है। आपका परिवार आपके साथ होना चाहिए। ये दो चीज़ें ऐसी हैं कि आप उससे दुनिया जीत सकते हैं। मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि हम ही में से वो कुछ महिलाएं थी, जब अगर मी टू का कैंपेन महिलाओं ने चलाया, तो जब अगर हमारे वजूद की बात आएगी तो हम आवाज़ उठा सकते हैं। अगर हमारे वजूद की बात आएगी तो हम कोई भी कैंपेन चलाने में बिल्कुल भी गुरेज नहीं करेंगे। इसी के साथ साथ अगर संविधान की बात आएगी, मुझे बिल्कुल भी आज अफसोस नहीं होता कि मैंने 25 महीने अपने जेल में गुजारे, क्योंकि बात संविधान की थी, बात आर्टिकल 14 की थी, बात इस मुल्क की थी कि हमें भी समानता का अधिकार है। तो हमें बिल्कुल भी इस बात पे गुरेज नहीं होना चाहिए। और साथ ही साथ मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि जैसे मैं प्रिविलेज्ड हूँ, मेरी फैमिली ने मेरा साथ दिया, यहाँ कितने पेरेंट्स ऐसे बैठे होंगे। मैं आप लोगों से भी ये गुजारिश करूँगी और इस मंच के माध्यम से पैप समिट के ज़रिए कि अपनी बेटियों को आगे लाइए, क्योंकि कल बेहतर मुस्तकबिल वही इस मुल्क का बना सकती हैं। और पहली सफ़ में हमें कामयाबी की अगर कोई खड़ा कर सकती है तो वो एक बेटी इस देश की खड़ा कर सकती है।
बहुत ही प्रेरक। डॉक्टर उदित।
I just want to spell out very explicitly, which I didn't do. Of course, I hinted. 2011-12 में 13 में ये शुरू हुआ अहमदाबाद और रामलीला मैदान से। तो जो फेक न्यूज शुरू दो जगह से हुई, ट्रोलिंग दो जगह से शुरू हुई। एक के नेता मोदी जी थे, दूसरे के मिस्टर अरविंद केजरीवाल थे।
देखिए, न तो यहाँ पर आम आदमी पार्टी और न तो बीजेपी किसी के प्रवक्ता है नहीं कि अभी आपको काउंटर कर सके, इसीलिए हम इस तरीके के
नहीं।
डॉक्टर उदित, नहीं, मैं इसलिए आपको रोक रही हूँ और मॉडरेटर होने का मैं अपना
सौराष्ट्र जी कहने दीजिए। अरे जब इंटेलेक्चुअल्स में हिम्मत होनी चाहिए ना। नहीं, पॉलिटिकल नहीं है।
नहीं उदित जी, क्योंकि अगर आपको हम ही यहाँ पे फैक्ट चेक करेंगे, आप कहेंगे हम ही ट्रोल हो गए, तो अभी रुक जाते हैं यहाँ पे। डॉक्टर रुचिरा।
इसलिए कि मैं उस समय बीजेपी में था। अरे लिसन, नो लेट मी टेल यू, उसमें
नहीं डॉक्टर उदित यहाँ पे I would like to use my privilege as a moderator.
From where it all started, and if you think that where is the solution,
Dr. Udit, we have all seen her videos on that. We all either agree or disagree on that. I would really request you to not.
You guys are not MP. When I was MP of the party, then I also used to say things.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, sir. As a citizen,
if you are here, then you
as a citizen, there are a lot of people protesting here, and I think we should stop.
Let me complete. You should have a moral strength to listen the truth. Being MP, I used to say,
Dr.
in the
Udit,
same party, you are not MP. मैं उस
I
पार्टी में MP होके बात कहा हूँ. That
think
is
you
my
should step in,
strength and
because
that
this-
is my
I don't think we should
honesty.
make this a
And
a
you
political.
can check on the record. You can check on the record. आप तो कुछ भी नहीं है. अरे क्या बात करते हो? कोई ये डिस्कशन गुडी का डिस्कशन से कुछ नहीं होता है.
डॉक्टर उदित, मैंने पूछा कि एक आप दलित बच्चे को कैसे समझाएंगे कि इस आर्किटेक्चर से डील करें? उस सवाल का जवाब दीजिए. और अगर उस सवाल का जवाब आपके पास नहीं है, तो आपके, चूंकि आप पूर्व MP रह चुके हैं, आपके पास बहुत मंच है जहां पर आप ये भाषण दे सकते हैं.
आप दलित बच्चों के बारे में क्यों पूछेंगे? सबके बारे में पूछिए. दलित बच्चे भी उसी कोई Dalit children also will be also vitiated. The atmosphere in which entire social media or digital world is, nobody can be untouched. Everybody is now part of the same thing. So it can't be seen in isolation.
Sure.
And if anybody thinks that it is in isolation, let me tell you, of course it's an intellectual discussion, it's not a political discussion. And I tell you, I was a beneficiary I was very close to Mr. Modi. He used to love me.
Dr.
But I
Udit,
tell
we
you,
heard you.
And yet, I could say that time itself, that much guts if you don't have.
डॉक्टर
What-
रुचना आई थिंक
then what is-
आई थिंक
what is
जो
use of
मुद्दा
debate?
डॉक्टर उदित ने उठाया
What
वो
is the
बहुत
debate of
इंटरेस्टिंग
debate?
है कि जो
See, what
बच्चे
happened-
आगे आएंगे चाहे वो किसी भी समाज के हों वो दलित समाज के हों वो सवर्ण
They
समाज के हों
all
वो
be the
इसी
part of it.
सुपरस्ट्रक्चर
They
का
all be the
हिस्सा
part
होंगे
of it. You see,
मैं
what
आपसे ये
happened
पूछना चाहती हूँ कि
is-
एकेडमिक दुनिया में चूंकि रिजर्वेशन भी है तो आप
coming to
सवर्ण
Israel,
दलित
she was
मुस्लिम
punished because she was a Muslim.
हर तरीके से
That's the
आपके
truth.
बच्चों को आप पढ़ाती
And
हैं
she could say-
क्या आपको लगता है कि आज के एकेडमिक डिस्कोर्स में
Why?
ऑनलाइन ट्रोलिंग और
All
डिसेंट
this
जिसको हम
started-
एकेडमिक
all
लहजे में
started
बात
from
करते
there
हैं
only.
क्या उनसे डील करने का हमारे पास कोई आर्किटेक्चरल मैकेनिज्म है
I think that's a very good question. I anyway wanted to touch upon this. I think two things. Like every space is gendered, internet is also a gendered space. And there are two ways in which you could make it less gendered. Like you take every space, women are required to wrest that gendered space as well. This could involve a lot of individual initiatives, which is basically like, I will not back down. I will not delete my account simply because I've been trolled, because I've been slut shamed, because, people say whatever they want to say simply because I'm a woman. Or you could fall back on legal agencies, which is basically like cybercrime, etc. Now, my experience with cybercrime has been abysmal, right? I lodge a report and they say that it has been registered. 3 days later, they close it. There's nothing done. I can still see the tweet. I can still see the person's account up, right? So my experience with cybercrime has been terrible. And I would think that the legal agencies have completely failed over here, right? Plus also, I don't want to touch upon any political party, but there is clearly a state impetus to this kind of trolling as well. So I don't even know if in that scenario, trying to gain some sort of a legal help would really help when the state itself is funding a lot of the trolling, right? Lastly, just to touch upon the kind of trolling that women get, I think we didn't sort of talk about it. Just from my own experience, so there is of course slut shaming. I'm a historian, and one of the main things that I get, you don't look like a historian. Now, I don't know how a historian is supposed to look like. Exactly, right? So you don't look like a historian. Nobody's going to take you seriously. You dress way too glamorously. So there's almost this idea that if I am to step into the world of academia, I should become a man and, sort of take away my femininity. I should not dress up. I should not open my hair. I should not put on makeup. I do, as she completely said, I put on an eyeshadow when I'm talking about history in my YouTube videos. A lot of people think that this just takes away the seriousness of academia. How can you have a serious academic talk? It's almost like you can't be a woman and have a serious academic talk. Right? So I think this is the kind of trolling and reductionist arguments that people put forth, which I think I'm sure a lot of women specific to their careers, etc., and to their credentials, etc., also face. I think Leher, you want to
Is it okay, Shubhrasta, if just because you spoke about, having a bad experience with cybercrime. So, there's a certain way that these cybercrime reports work. Certain reports, certain times when you do, complain to the cybercrime police units, they will not take action. If it is political trolling, most of the times I feel they do not take action. However, if it's somebody who's, not that well known, is a nobody, and is someone coming and trolling you, irrespective of and not a part of a political party, then there is actually a possibility that that person might face action. And I have seen that. Sanjukta went with me to the police station recently. It is a very, it's a tedious process. You will be called multiple times. You'll have to go give your statement in front of a magistrate and all of that. So if you have the time and you want to make the effort and, you have the energy to do that, I think there is a possibility. So recently it happened to me. Somebody came and wrote a lot of really bad language and really dirty stuff. And I decided to take action. And this was a blue tick marked person, non-political, but hated my politics, my political ideology and views. And when I took action, surprisingly, the police station called me, asked me to come and give a statement, a written complaint, and they actually went to Punjab to arrest the man. So, yes, this man was arrested and then, of course, released out on bail again. But the point being that when cyber police wants to work, there is a procedure, there are possibilities for cyber police to be effective and to actually work. So just wanted to...
श्योर इशरत, जो वाक्य अभी बताया लहर ने, उस वाक्य से एक उम्मीद की किरण भी जगती है और थोड़ा सा ये भी लगता है कि हमारी जो पॉलिटिकल स्पेस है, राजनीतिक स्पेस है, चूंकि आप लॉ और राजनीति दोनों में दखल रखती हैं और अच्छा खासा दखल रखती हैं, क्या कोई कॉन्वर्सेशन है कि इस स्पेस को या तो रेगुलेट किया जाए? अगर रेगुलेट नहीं कर सकते हम, जो फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन के बंदिशों में अगर वो आता है, कुछ तो ऐसी सोच होगी कि हम आगे कैसे बढ़ सकते हैं. Here is actually a chance for you to spell out your party's manifesto on, on how are you going to discuss the online behavior and how are you going to deal with this issue.
देखिए, अभी जैसे लहर ने बात की, मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं एक हैरेसमेंट तो ये है कि आप ट्रोल हो रहे हैं और दूसरा हैरेसमेंट ये है कि आपको लीगल बैटल में जाना पड़ता है. तो ये बहुत डिफिकल्टी है हम लोगों के लिए और कहीं ना कहीं फिर हमें डिस्करेज भी किया जा सकता है फैमिली में, या हम खुद भी इतना ये सोचते हैं कि हम ये अपना जो वक्त है वो किसी और कंस्ट्रक्टिव टाइम में लगाएं, इसे इग्नोर करें. तो ये सब चीज़ें हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत हमें रेमेडीज़ भी मिली हैं, लेकिन बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट है रोज़मर्रा की. अगर आप ज़िंदगी में शुभ्रस्ता, अगर आप पॉलिटिक्स कर रही हैं तो बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता है, आपको इन चीज़ों को इग्नोर करके चलना पड़ेगा. बहुत ऐसे इंस्टेंसेस हैं, जैसे मैंने अभी भी कहा, कि क्या उन ट्रोलर्स में ये हिम्मत होती है कि वो शुभ्रास्ता की तरह पूरे दिन घर से बाहर रहें, वो मतलब तरजीह दें अपने काम को, लहर की तरह तरजीह दें अपने काम को बजाय अपनी फैमिली को. हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं अपनी फैमिली लाइफ को सेकेंडरी रख देते हैं, जबकि हमें समाज में ये सिखाया जाता है कि पहले परिवार है और औरत को परिवार चलाना है. तो ये कई चीज़ें ऐसी हैं कि हमें इग्नोर करना पड़ेगा. और मुझे ये लगता है कि उन लोगों में ताकत नहीं है. अगर हम अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस भी बात करेंगे, वो शायद उदित राज जी की तरह इन चीज़ों को फेस नहीं कर सकते. कितना एक अगर दलित कोई अपना, ये देखिए कि आप ब्यूरोक्रेट्स थे, अगर उन्होंने अपनी नौकरी छोड़ी, अगर वो राजनीति में आए, तो क्या सिर्फ उनको उनके कलर के लिए या उनकी कास्ट के लिए बोला जाना चाहिए? ये गलत है. तो रेमेडीज़ बहुत हैं, लेकिन हमें इग्नोर करके चलना पड़ेगा. और साथ ही साथ अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं, तो क्या उन जो ट्रोलर्स हैं उनमें हिम्मत है कि वो 2 साल जेल काट सकते हैं? क्या उनमें हिम्मत है कि मैं 10 दिन की इंटरिम पे आई थी, तो मेरा उस टाइम निकाह हुआ था और फिर 2 साल के लिए दोबारा मैं जेल चली गई थी? तो वो लोग तो हमारी बराबरी वैसे भी कहीं नहीं कर सकते हैं. इस चीज़ के लिए करेज, मैं कहूँगी कि करेज, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी और कहीं ना कहीं ह्यूमिलिटी की ज़रूरत होती है. तो सब चीज़ें बहुत अच्छे से टैकल हो सकती हैं. और एक चीज़ और, समाज के 2 पहलू होते हैं, हमें एक ही को डिस्कस नहीं करना चाहिए. अगर एक तरफ ट्रोलर है जो हमें ट्रोल कर रहे हैं, वो हमें जानते नहीं, हमसे मिले नहीं, हमारी बातें कर रहे हैं, बल्कि उदित राज जी कैन बी एन एग्जाम्पल फॉर दलित कम्युनिटी, लेकिन उनको दूसरे तरीके से डिस्करेज करने के लिए उनको कहीं ना कहीं ट्रोल किया जाता है. लेकिन मैं इसके साथ ही कहना चाहूँगी कि समाज का वो दूसरा पहलू भी हमें देखना चाहिए, जहाँ पे ऐसे कैंपेनर्स बैठे हुए हैं. जो ये समिट है वो भी एक एग्जाम्पल है ऐसी कैंपेन की कि आज हम खुल के बात कर पा रहे हैं. हमें कैंपेन चलाने की ज़रूरत है. जब मैं जेल में थी तो ऐसे भी लोग थे, एक तरफ मुझे अगर ट्रोल किया जा रहा था तो दूसरी तरफ वो कैंपेनर्स मुझे हिम्मत देते थे कि आज इशरत को 50 दिन हो गए, आज 100 दिन हो गए, आज 500 दिन हो गए और आज 700 दिन हो गए, एंड स्टिल पीपल आर, मैं बल्कि बोलूँगी कि एक्टिविस्ट आज भी वो 5 साल से जेलों में हैं. तो हमें समाज को अगर हम इंक्लूसिव होकर देखें तो हमें यही समाज कहीं ना कहीं अगर कमज़ोर कर रहा है, तो इसी के साथ साथ हमें मजबूती भी इसी समाज से मिलती है, अपने परिवार से मिलती है. हमें दोनों पहलुओं को देखकर चलना पड़ेगा और आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा. शुक्रिया.
उदित जी, एक ऑनलाइन डिजिटल करिकुलम आपके हिसाब से कैसा होना चाहिए?
इट्स अ डिफरेंट करिकुलम की जो बात बहुत वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन हुआ. Curriculum is different thing, and that should be, of course, there are a lot of guidelines also, But question is that are we ready to follow it?
So,
नहीं, वो बात
what is the
है।
way forward, sir? 3 चीजें आप बताइए। आप ब्यूरोक्रेट रह चुके हैं तो आपको लिखने की उस तरीके से प्रेजेंट करने की आदत है आपको। आप बताइए कि क्या ऐसी 3 चीजें भारत करे जिससे ऑनलाइन ट्रोलिंग या ऑनलाइन जो बिहेवियर है वो रेगुलेट हो सके हमारे यहाँ। ये रेगुलेट की जगह आप कोई दूसरा शब्द यूज कर सकते हैं अगर आपको वो गैर लोकतांत्रिक लगता हो।
संप्रास्ता जी, सबसे ज्यादा जिम्मेदारी किसी भी समाज की मिडिल क्लास की होती है।
जी।
Reformation, Renaissance, and pragmatism of America, Russian Revolution, all led by intelligentsia and middle class. Unfortunately, in our country, middle class has not been in position to lead the society intellectually. यहीं आके सब भारत की जब स्थिति आके यहीं फंसती है। आप देखिए इंटायर रेनेसा रिफॉर्मेशन, अगर रिफॉर्मेशन अमेरिका में यूरोप में नहीं आता तो फिर रेनेसा नहीं आता, फिर आपका इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन नहीं होता। क्या हम देखते हैं कि वी हैव प्रोड्यूस्ड करोड्स ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स एंड वी हैव millions of teachers and millions of journalists, but do they lead? Or I would not say एक जाति का नेता और राष्ट्रिक बैकग्राउंड से मैं भी हूं कहने का मतलब है, and he dictates all. तो वो वहां आकर के हम पूरे भारत के मामले में आता है कि हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू चेंज द डेस्टिनी और द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द कंट्री। ये बहुत बड़ा सवाल है। करोड़ों स्टूडेंट नहीं है हमारे पास, लेकिन आप देखते हैं कि आज यूथ अपने राइट के लिए निकल नहीं पा रहा। तो ये हमारे ये साउथ एशिया का एक बड़ा अजीब सा कैरेक्टर है, जिसकी आपको आना पड़ रहा, हमें आना पड़ रहा, औरों को आना पड़ रहा, जबकि उनको भी आना चाहिए। एक फॉर इंस्टांस वन थिंग वेरी स्मॉल, दिस इज हिस्टोरियन, शी मस्ट हैव रेड यूरोपियन हिस्ट्री, वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री एंड ऑल, एंड आई टेल यू the teachers, professors, students are above the caste system? No. Does the study reflects in changing the society? Unlike other countries. तो उससे भी एक सवाल मैं यहां करता हूं कि भाई क्या पढ़ते हो? टीचरों में दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में जाइए, जाट लॉबी है, उत्तर प्रदेश की लॉबी है, ब्राह्मण लॉबी है, हर जगह लॉबी है, भूमिहार लॉबी है, लॉबी है,
ब्यूरोक्रेसी में भी है सर।
ब्यूरोक्रेसी में।
लेकिन आपने एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग और बहुत प्रेरक बात कही है कि मिडिल क्लास को आगे आना होगा। कहीं ना कहीं हम सब मिडिल क्लास से ही हैं।
तो वही करता है।
जी जी जी।
इंटेलेक्चुअल का काम तो उसी का है, पॉलिटिशियन का भी नहीं है
जी।
एंड आई टेल यू वन थिंग दैट पीपल लुक अप एट पॉलिटिशियन दैट दे विल चेंज द सोसाइटी। दुनिया का पॉलिटिशियन नहीं चेंज करता, वो स्टेटस कोइस्ट होता है पॉलिटिशियन। नेचुरली रूलर की तरह होता है वो, चाहे पहले किंगडम थी वो, बट मिडिल क्लास इंटेलिजेंसिया चेंजेस द सोसाइटी, बट दैट हैज फेल्ड।
संजुक्ता, आप you of course you want to respond to this. Just wanted to add, you've been very outspoken on digital feminism. Taking cue from what Dr. Udit said, do you think there is a need to balance the right to free speech versus the conversation on civil liberties? How do we navigate that?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question, actually. And I just want to plug in here my research. So I did my PhD on trolling. I
Yes.
did a doctoral thesis on women's political space, which is impacted by trolling. And one of the most important findings of it was that even those of us who are being trolled are then called troll because we speak against the powers that be. वो बोले अरे आपने तो मोदी जी को ट्रोल करा इसलिए हम आपको ट्रोल कर रहे हैं. So this is what how we face, and the finding is that, well, everything is not trolling. There is a clear line between free speech, criticism, political criticism, criticism coming from journalists or civil society against whoever is in power in whichever state. I'm not talking about any political party. It could be a Congress ruling party, it could be a BJP ruling party or the central government. But whoever is in power, उसकी आप criticism करोगे, आपको आके troll करेंगे. But आप भी वो कर सकते हो. So what I'm saying is that, first of all, there is a clear line of difference. How do we know I mean, I don't have an answer to this, but we have to somehow, with collective conversations within our circles, have to, have to facilitate that line, that understanding of that line, that this is your free speech. Yes, you can criticize. Yes, you can express your anger over some political opinion or some journalist's opinion, but there is a line. You cannot do this. You can't go beyond that. You can't call someone ugly, surpanakha, or slut, those kinds of things. I think Leher wants to,
you wanted to chime
come
in?
I just wanted to say that sometimes it is simple. Like for example, if I'm expressing a political view or I'm talking about, let's say, feminism, okay, and you come and you give me a counterfact and you say, no, this is wrong. What you're talking about is, this is the actual fact or figure and you're wrong. I'm okay with that. I'm willing to get into a healthy debate on that. But if you come and say, apni shakal dekhi hai, tu kya bol rahi hai? So I'm like, yeah. So that is trolling, right? It's very clearly defined as trolling because you're not willing to converse with me. You're not even criticizing what I'm saying. You're criticizing that I said it in the first place.
Sure. Leher, I'll take this conversation to Dr. Ruchika and perhaps then we'll wrap it up. I think.
We have
Okay,
time
sure.
for like 3, 4 questions.
Sure,
from the
sure.
audience, yeah.
So, I was researching your profile, of course, before moderating this. Very interestingly, you've adapted yourself to online content and try to plug in your historical content with it, making it educative. And of course, there are counterfacts that you will get from the other side of history. Again, I'm trying to push this conversation in the positive direction. As young historians, what advice would you give to young historians on how to navigate this? Because the moment you touch history and land and issues like patriarchy, there's such emotional issues that it is a vitiated conversation. How do you go ahead and do it?
Sure. Yeah, that's a nice question. I think it's very important. Firstly, for me, trolling has been bad, but it's also been very educative because I do public history. And every time I talk about history, some random person who thinks he's an expert in history will come and tell me, you are a self-claimed historian, this is what it is. And for me, that becomes a very important insight into how people actually view history in this country. So if I can, keep my mental costs of undergoing trolling aside, then what comes through that filter is basically people exposing their biases towards history and telling me how they actually think about history. I have actually been able to collect a lot of myths about history through this process and then make videos about them, trying to bust them. So for me, trolling has also been very educative. And I would actually encourage any public historian, young historian who wants to come forth, to actually look at these as a way of education, also as a reaction. I think for me, it's also a very good way to know that it's reaching the crowd that it's supposed to reach. I want my message to reach this crowd that is trolling me. It's important that it reaches them, right? Doesn't matter whether they accept the message or they don't. And it's also very important to know that your message is being effective enough to garner a response. The response is very interesting, jo bhi hai, but the response in itself is very, a positive step forward because they're engaging with it and it's triggering some sort of a belief, long-held belief, and it's challenging it. So that, the trolling therefore becomes a way of manifesting it because you cannot, sort of manifest it intellectually. So that is what you do. But also, I don't want to minimize, I think, the mental violence that women face when they undergo trolling online. It's not just around, is it free speech or not? It's about if a woman is online, just her presence, just her existence online means she has to undergo a lot of mental violence. The mental costs of trolling are really high. And I say it as somebody who's been doing public history for the past 3 years. Initially, for me, the mental costs were really high. I was not, used to being slut-shamed, people taking out my pictures from my Instagram profile, which is hilarious. I have only put that profile. What are you trying to prove to me? But, the fact that they can sort of cull that picture out and shame it and say, oh, how can a historian look like this, that, and the other? Initially, for me, it was terrible. I would cry about it. But I think eventually I started to take that in my stride. And I would really urge women to do that. To try, it's uncomfortable, but your presence online is what is going to change the game. Do not back down. Do not delete your account. Keep at it. Exist. Your existence in itself, your existence in the public sphere, your existence in the online sphere itself is a huge challenge to the trolling, is a huge challenge to patriarchy. So keep up with it.
I think that's a wonderful wrap to this conversation. We'll take some questions from the audience.
Let me...
In the interest of gender parity, I would ask the
Sambrasha ji.
gentleman behind, then I'll
Hello.
come back to you, Varka.
So
Hello.
we take the ma'am in the yellow shirt and then Varkha and then these are the hands. We have time for only maybe 3.
What we'll do is we'll take all the questions and then individually we can
So she was
respond.
the first one to raise the hand.
Sure.
We can provide. Yeah. So can we start with her? Sure. Lady in the yellow. Anmol here. नहीं, here. वैसे भी पीछे.
Hi. Your one question was that what to tell a person, a rustic person who's entering the internet, how to prepare, what to tell her important things. And the most important thing, I think, is just to tell her not to commit suicide. First and foremost, be there, stay there, not to be so hurt that you kill yourself.
Thank you, ma'am, for saying that because I think the entire panel sort of believes that being there is the most important political statement to make. Yes, Barkha? And please, let's keep it to questions and not responses or reactions.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to mention on a lighter note that trolling happens with men, women, and transgenders, all. Now my question comes. There are lakhs of cybercrime cases on daily basis. What are we doing? And I think for hundreds, I have myself been to the police station, met cybercrime people, and nothing has been done yet on those cases because those were ordinary people. Do we have any roadmap for that?
Yes.
Anybody can answer this question.
Sure. Can we take all the questions and then we'll respond?
My question was that young girls and teenagers are taught self-defense for the last 20 years to, if for any act of physical attack on them. Is there a similar way to teach self-defense to young girls or anyone else for any online attack? Any basics 101 or 201 that can be taught by various agencies if you are facing an attack on the lines of martial arts that are taught to girls?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon. Quick question. I think in the environment that we are in, the act of not condemning is an act of support. So particularly when it comes to political leadership, ये जो अनुमतिकरण की जो राजनीति है, by disengaging, you are explicitly granting permission. What is a way to tackle that?
Very, very valid point. इनको भी एक बार माइक दे दीजिए प्लीज.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. As the esteemed panel agreed that cybercrime is not being handled by the cyber police, if they wish to do, they can do. So my question is from the esteemed panel, what is the measure to crack down this cybercrime?
जी, आई थिंक बरखा जी का भी यही सवाल था. तो 3 मुद्दों पे बात करनी है. मुझे लगता है डॉक्टर उदित आपसे हम शुरू करते हैं कि ये जो साइबर क्राइम का जो सिचुएशन है इसको हैंडल कैसे करें और कुछ हो नहीं रहा है स्ट्रक्चरली.
सुब्रास्ता जी, I message to all of you. Indian society is not community-based society. I don't want to explain that. Very in short, I would say it's an individual-based society. I'll just give an example. Supposing something in your vicinity and something happens, or some mud is lying there and all. So not that everybody will come together to solve that problem, but they will try to pass the buck on others. This is what the Indian society is. Few years back, I went to Turkey, and the military was to take over the power. The common masses, they registered and they came under the time. 300-400 died, and yet they did not recede. Military had to recede back. Will it happen in our country? मैं 1-1 लाख लोगों की रैली लीड करता हूं कई बार, और मुझे मालूम है कि जब 500,000 पुलिस आएगी तो सब भाग जाएंगे. ये भारत की समाज की साइकोलॉजी है. इसीलिए मैं कहता हूं इंडिविजुअल बेस्ड सोसाइटी है ज्यादा. तो आप लोग जिसको जैसे साइबर का है, व्हाट्स योर नेम? बरखा जी. ऐसे केसेस में बहुत करता हूं. कुछ फोर्स की जरूरत होती है, यू कैन हैव माई नंबर. मैं बहुत सारे लोगों का रजिस्टर कराता रहता हूँ. सीनोज लहर हमारी दोस्त हैं, सब जानती हैं. तो वो बिना पावर का, बिना अथॉरिटी का कॉमन आदमी को सुनते नहीं लोग. One. Second thing that we all have discussed here to find some solution. Don't pass it to others. Don't pass the buck. Buck starts to you. कि हम करेंगे अपने लेवल पर, तब तो कुछ यहां से लेके निकलेंगे. अदरवाइज ये बड़ा अच्छा डिस्कशन था, लाइवली डिस्कशन था. भारतीय समाज में यही किया जा सकता है. सो मेरा यही है. अब ऐसा बरखा जी,
बरखा जी, ये कॉन्वर्सेशन डॉक्टर उदित और आप
बरखा जी
ऑफलाइन भी
ऐसा
कीजिए.
बरखा जी आप आगे से मेरा नंबर ले लीजिएगा. जहां प्रॉब्लम होगी कमिश्नर को बोलना होगा, डीसीपी.
संजुक्ता प्लीज गो अहेड एंड
अरे आपने पहले बोला नहीं कभी
उदित
ना?
जी, मैं थोड़ा और क्वेश्चन के सवालों के आंसर
मालूम नहीं है क्या आपके बारे में?
सर,
तो आप बोल रहे हैं.
तो एक क्वेश्चन ये आया था कि जैसे है कि वहाँ जेंटलमैन थे कि जैसे हम गर्ल्स को ट्रेनिंग देते हैं हाउ टू कॉम्बैट इन फिजिकल पब्लिक स्पेस. सो वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन बिकॉज इंटरनेट इज अ डिजिटल पब्लिक स्पेस एंड जस्ट लाइक फिजिकल स्पेसेस आर ऑल्सो अनसेफ फॉर वुमेन, इंटरनेट हैज ऑल्सो बिकम अनसेफ फॉर वुमेन. एंड yes, there are those trainings happening, but unfortunately most of the civil societies, non-profit organizations that I do, quite a few of them, Digital Empowerment Foundation is one of them, are doing these these trainings on how to be safe, responsible on the internet for young women and girls. But this kind of initiative needs to happen also from the corporate and the government. So to answer that question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I add to what Sanjukta said apropos to that gentleman's question? It's also, two things that people who are starting out or women who are going online need to realize. One, a lot of online platforms also benefit from trolling, especially, platforms like X, etc., which generate a lot of money, are able to show a lot of ads, because a lot of people will support, especially gendered trolling, right? So it's, anyway, the medium is geared towards supporting trolling. And even if, you say there is a privacy infringement or there is a threat, etc., I have gotten rape threats, I've gotten death threats, but none of that X takes down. None of that is something that X takes seriously, right? So I would, so secondly, therefore, I would advise women to pick and choose their battles. Report, say, a rape threat, report a death threat, certainly. Report it, tag NCW, tag Delhi police, try and do whatever you can. But, I think a lot of the small trolling, and again, I don't mean to minimize any trolling, but trolling which just says, oh, you are just a woman, what will you know, etc. It's best to ignore, because a lot of ignoring the trolling will automatically tell X, this is not generating engagement, so this is content that I need to show less. Right? So I think you also need to understand and master the algorithm. Yeah, exactly. The algorithm which is at work, which supports trolling, but try and engage with only that trolling which is necessary to be engaged with.
Ishrat, last word to you on the conversation about non-condemnation of political, not just political, but non-condemnation of trolling in general by political parties. Do you think it's a tacit approval to just go ahead? And since everybody has shared political anecdotes, I would also say that political trolling is not just one IT cell's department. It's a specific mandate by all political parties. I've worked with multiple of them, regional and national, so I can tell you. It's a mandate. You need to do it. You need to do targeted campaigns against people, individuals, groups, communities, etc., etc. Not only because it generates content for politics, because it also generates content for revenue. I mean, we can agree to disagree on that. But yeah, let me not. I don't
agree with that. That every political party.
I don't want to, don the speaker's hat here. I deliberately chose not to be the speaker. So Ishrat, the last word to you.
शुभ्रस्ता, मैं इतने सवाल अभी किए गए, तो मैं एक इंक्लूसिव सा एक जवाब देना चाहूँगी कि जो लोग ट्रोलिंग या मीडिया ट्रायल के टाइम फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन की बात करके उसका डिफेंस ले लेते हैं, तो उनको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अच्छे से पढ़ने की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि एक्सेप्शन है मोरालिटी का, एक्सेप्शन है डिसेंसी का, और कहीं ना कहीं पब्लिक ऑर्डर का. अगर हमारा समाज ही मतलब जंगल राज हो जाएगा, तो हम इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को कैसे इसका संरक्षण कर पाएंगे. और साथ ही साथ मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि मीडिया का एक बहुत बड़ा रोल है. अगर हम इस समाज में हैं, तो कुछ हमारे भी सोशल ऑब्लिगेशंस हैं जिसके तहत आज हम इस मंच पर बैठे हुए हैं. इसी तरीके से मीडिया जो है वो फोर्थ पिलर कहलाता है लोकतंत्र का. लेकिन मैं ये कहूँगी, और बड़ा अफसोस होता है कि किसी को बहुत ज़्यादा चढ़ा देना और किसी की छवि इतनी ज़्यादा गिरा देना, मतलब सिर्फ मीडिया का यही काम रह गया है. मुझे ये लगता है कि मीडिया को कहीं ना कहीं इन चीज़ों से बाहर आके, क्योंकि एक मैं इस बात को अप्रिशिएट करती हूँ कि एक कैंपेन चला था, अगर सबको याद हो, जेसिका लाल मर्डर केस में, वो मीडिया ही थी जिसने जेसिका लाल को अल्टीमेटली कैंपेन चलाकर जस्टिस दिलवाया था. तो कई बार समाज को, मीडिया को और हम सब लोगों को आगे आना पड़ेगा. और मैं ये यकीन दिलाती हूँ कि वो ट्रोलर्स की संख्या कम है और हम लोगों की संख्या बहुत ज़्यादा है. तो ये हमारे सोशल ऑब्लिगेशंस हैं अगर इस समाज को हमें बेहतर बनाना है. शुक्रिया.
On that very thoughtful and positive note, thank you for being a wonderful audience. I hope I did justice, despite my political ideologies and biases as well. Have a great day. Thank you.
Panelists, I would like to tell you that while you all were speaking and we were live on YouTube, you must go and see the comments of what people have talked about us. You can choose to reply, but maybe we should delete them because there are all sorts of comments.
We would not
in there.
delete anything, Rupam. So we knew that this session will be a heated session. We deliberately made that panel that way, but we needed this. And this is one of the platforms. We created this platform because there are lots of conversation that Leher has been doing. Sorry. Leher, before we go in lunch, Leher will give a founder's address and she will...
I'll give it after lunch. I think everybody's hungry. We were supposed to break for lunch at 1. It's already 1:30. We're running 30 minutes behind schedule. Have a quick lunch, so then we'll, probably be able to buffer for that, those 30 minutes.
Be back by what? 2? Okay, 4.
So we'll take a break for lunch now. Lunch will be served till 2:10. Let's aim to begin the next session. It's a very heavy session. We will begin it at 2:10.